Our next guest set out on a mission for his latest project to change how people think about and view the world. Tarek Munib gathered a group of Americans who were fearful of Islam. He took them on a trip to Egypt, and that journey is the focus of the new documentary, Free Trip to Egypt. Have a look.
My fear is being taken hostage.
When 9/11 happened, I just lost it. I'm so racist now, I can't stand myself.
My mom, she thought that this was just some ploy to sell me into sex slavery.
I just want to spread Jesus' love into...
Wow, the film is screening across the country throughout the next few weeks. Creator and producer Tarek Munib joins us this morning. Good to have you with us here.
Great to be here.
This concept was brilliant in that you wanted to get people who may have had a very different view of Islam and get them to immerse them in the culture, to meet one another. And the free trip to Egypt was the best way to do that. Brilliant idea.
Thank you so much.
You were born to Egyptian parents. You grew up in Canada. You then moved to Switzerland. How did this project start? How did you come up with this concept?
Well, this is the point, is I didn't come up with it to try to change or educate people. It was actually a very personal experience that at the end of 2016, I was seeing a lot of hate in the world, a lot of polarization, demonization, and I felt myself becoming afraid of Americans. And then I realized I don't want to live in fear. So there must be another way. So then I thought about, what if I went towards the people I thought feared me and offered them something in kindness? And then the idea of, hey, why don't I offer people a free trip to Egypt came, and see what happens.
The message in this film, so timely, especially what we've seen come to the U.S. last week with President Trump's tweets about AOC and the three being enemy of the people, the congresswomen in the U.S. You managed to gather a very diverse group of Americans. You paired them up with a diverse group of people in Egypt. This was not an easy task. You struggled to find people at first. Were you surprised at how hard that was?
Yeah, I was very surprised, because when we first announced the project, we got a lot of hate. People, I expected people, if they weren't interested, they just wouldn't say, but we get, are you crazy? I would never go to that land. I don't want to be beheaded. I don't want to be killed. I'd never go to such a savage place, right? It was shocking. And that was like 90% of the posts. But then what happened was, when I stepped on American soil and started visiting different places, from Manhattan to the southern states to a Trump rally, then I realized, actually, there are so few bigoted people in the world. The reality is there are some bigoted people, and we hear horrible things, but most people, even when they do say bigoted things, are actually saying it from a place of fear or safety for their family. And when I was engaged in dialogue, I could actually see the humanity of those people. And then it made me realize, actually, the world is not as fearful. America is not as fearful. Trump supporters are not as fearful as I thought.
So you could see the humanity in them. Could they see it in you? Were you able to connect that way?
Absolutely, because as soon as you stop fearing people and you listen to them, you have access. And the learning for me of the film, because I learned as much as they did, is that we can still have diverse political, religious views, completely different, not change each other to the path of tolerance, and still get along.
It is a very positive message, and good to hear in this time. This was a life-changing experience for the Egyptian participants as well. Tell me about that part of the story.
Oh, there was the Egyptians as well. There was one example where the mother of one of the Egyptians, she had never met a foreigner in her life, right? And this was so hard to conceptualize. And she was saying, the mother, through a translator, that because of her love for her new American friend, she wants to meet other Americans, she wants to meet other foreigners. So it really transformed her view of what she thought Americans were.
This is really life-changing, not just for the people involved, but for anybody who views it, especially in a time like this.
Absolutely.
We are witness to conversations around politics and around religion all the time now. Social media, on television, radio, they can get intense, they can be draining, because they bring up a lot of, as you say, fear and outrage. What was going through your mind during some of these moments? Were you ever worried this trip might not go the way that I hope it goes?
Absolutely. I thought it would fall apart. There were so many times where people were engaged in a way that I thought, are we going to continue? Are they going to leave? Are they so offended? Right? We paired up like a Christian missionary who wanted to baptize Muslims. We paired him and Miss Kentucky from his congregation. We paired them up with an Orthodox Muslim family, a man with a beard and a woman covering her face. So we weren't sure how that was going to work out.
It was a big risk.
It was a big risk, and that's the beauty of the story that unfolded. And it was amazing to see that the connections that occurred.
And they found connection.
They found connection.
And you will have
it's
to,
remarkable.
You will have to watch the film to see that
Exactly.
connection happen. All right, for more details on free trip to Egypt, where you can see it, we'll put that link up on our website. Tarek, thank you so much for being here.
It's been a real pleasure.
And
Thank you.
An incredible film. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.